Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Modrell, and today I'm going to be reviewing 5 different advertisements and will critically look over their elements of persuasion for my class, COMM333. For each advertisement, I will be analyzing what I believe is its intended motivational appeal, target audience, and message structure, while also highlighting some key connecting course theories for my class. Let's jump in. For my analysis, I've chosen the brand Patagonia because I thought their ads were unique, engaging, and emotionally impactful. And because this brand is an outdoor icon who stands for environmental sustainability, it offered persuasive material that reached me on a personal level. The first ad we're going to be looking at is titled Unfashionable. It's a TV ad that heavily relies on guilt and environmental appeals, framing fast fashion as irresponsible and wasteful. In the ad, we see images of young adults opening online clothing orders. Then it switches to showing mounds of waste piled on beaches. It's a picture of the consequences of overconsumption. Still, there is a combination of motivational appeals happening here, as we feel warmth from the joyful and peaceful visuals of natural landscapes, and we see young adults surfing, biking, and hiking. "That was phenomenal," we hear one guy say. This creates a sense of belonging in the viewer and equates Patagonia as an idealized lifestyle brand, selling the viewer's culture and cause. The ad structure uses both primacy and recency effects, meaning that it begins and ends with its most compelling arguments. As soon as it begins, we hear the question, "Fashionable? Do I look fashionable?" instantly catching attention and disrupting expectations. Then it ends with an equally powerful line, "We're in business to save our home planet. Fashion has nothing to do with it." The next ad we're going to be looking at is titled The Stories We Wear, the Jacket. Patagonia released this ad as part of a campaign titled The Stories We Wear. It uses narrative storytelling to create emotions in its viewers. In this ad, we hear Jesse share how his Patagonia jacket has been with him through many significant life events, including the birth of his daughter. Similar to movies, this storytelling technique utilizes identification, which allows viewers to emotionally connect through similar experiences. This ad also heavily plays with nonverbal persuasion through means of sentimental music, nostalgic family photos, and visually warm colors to deepen its motivational appeal, connecting them to Jesse and the Patagonia brand. This entire campaign was largely successful, I believe in part because it is so heavily narrative based, and it's stated in one of the modules in my class that people often prefer stories to statistics. The story is driven home with the recency effect, as Jesse's memories unfold and lead up to an emotionally climactic memory that end with the phrase, "Wear it, make memories in it, pass it on." An explicit ending that ties loyalty to Patagonia, the environment, and in familial generations. For this next ad, we're changing gears and looking at a print ad, where we see a different kind of message structure. Without a progressional timeline, our eyes are drawn to certain aspects of the picture according to their intrigue. When we first look at this ad, we are immediately drawn to the collaged woman made up of picture fragments. This signals a warmth appeal and sells us a lifestyle value of all her adventures tied together through the tag that we see next, "Made for all that makes you." This metaphor centers Patagonia as the piece that ties this woman's adventures together and creates brand loyalty. This ad also employs parallel processing by using the bright images and colored text, prompting viewers to use the peripheral route of persuasion, where they are processing the text simply and visually. However, in the corner, we also see a smaller text explaining Patagonia's sustainability mission and promise to use recyclable materials. Another explanation of the collage metaphor and an appeal to logic are the viewer's central processing. Being a print ad, it relies on its nonverbal persuasion to promote its brand to its frequent target audience of eco-conscious consumers, as we know by its sustainability promise and the image of the young woman who other young adults can identify with. Let them be. This ad primarily uses warmth as it creates feelings of humor, nostalgia, and sentiment through nonverbal persuasion like the sound of children laughing, clips of smiling faces, and visuals of kids playing outdoors. The ad avoids statistics and logic, having its target audience of parents take the peripheral route of persuasion, where they're focused on the colors, music, and captivating visuals of the ad. I think this ad works dually in the brand's favor, as it reminds the parents both of the joy of their children's childhood as well as their own childhood. This is a perfect example of a soft sell ad, as no prices are being shown, no dialogue or direct message is being discussed or pushed at all. The ad simply ends with a recency effect, stating, "Let them be." Then the Patagonia's kids' clothing line is shown. This ad works on various levels. It's subtle, sweet, and deeply effective. I think Patagonia did a beautiful job. Don't buy this jacket. This shocking Black Friday ad telling consumers not to purchase more merchandise ended up being largely successful in an unintended way and actually raised Patagonia's sales by 30% following its release. It primarily used guilt and fear appeals to target an audience of eco-conscious consumers, first drawing them in with that surprising message of "Don't buy this jacket," then following with smaller print below, giving statistics and logic to trigger the viewer's central route processing, making them think critically about their consumer choices. This ad offers a two-sided message that sparks cognitive dissonance around overconsumption and the clothing industry, especially regarding the holiday season. But it also offers a solution in their brand which promotes sustainability. This ad may have been so successful in part because in matters involving such deeply entwined moral issues, like environmental concern, two-sided messages are especially persuasive because they build credibility by acknowledging opposing views. Overall, from the small amount of research I've done from this assignment and from what I already know to be true about the brand, I think Patagonia is a highly reputable, respected brand in the outdoor clothing industry whose advertisements only seem to help both their profits and their cause. I think people see their passion for sustainability and quality. It's evident in their advertising and the lived experience of their customers, and that's what makes them so successful. If I were to give any additional advice, it would only be to experiment with implicit endings in a few of their future advertisements. I noticed many of their ads featured very direct conclusions, but Patagonia has a customer base with very highly involved receivers. And the textbook from our class tells us that people with a high need for cognition enjoy filling in the blanks themselves. So similarly to how their "Don't Buy This Jacket" ad, which involved central processing, was so successful for their brand, I believe that using more implicit approaches, which trigger that same central route processing, could prove to be successful for them. Also, because they have such a primary target audience of young adults, it might also benefit them to invest in a greater social media presence. Thank you to everybody who watched. I enjoyed going over these Patagonia advertisements and seeing how persuasion theory interacted through each of them. I hope this presentation was both informative and entertaining. Please see the next slide for the links to each of the ads so you can access the full content yourself. They're pretty cool.